Placement, not power. Curiosity, a book, and Ask Barb coming up on helpmysquashgame.com. Hi, this is Barb Cooper from helpmysquashgame.com, welcoming you back. And I have to tell you, squash is all about the ball. And what I mean by that is it's all about where the ball goes, not necessarily how quickly it gets there. In other words, I'm sitting watching matches, doubles and singles, and I watch the return of serve. And I watch these people hit a hard cross-court return of serve that lands around the short line. That's the line in the middle of the floor. That means the server wanders over and hits it. So it feels as though you're attacking when you're returning the serve and hitting it that hard. The problem is if it doesn't go by your opponent or make them stretch or move or be uncomfortable, it's not doing its job. I want you to pay attention to that. When you hit the ball now, please hit it with intention. Decide where it's supposed to go, what it's supposed to do, and then check it out and see whether that happens. If it doesn't, that's when you modify the shot for the next time. Just a thought. Might change your game. So much of what goes on a court is about what happens in your head. And I want you to start thinking of a different way to play a match. I'd like your mindset to be something that is more curious than judgmental. In other words, if you're playing a match and you're curious about whether this shot's working, about whether your opponent is going to hit a good shot back, about whether you were effective, you'll limit the judgment. When you start to think about things like you're going to hit the right shot, a good shot, the greatest shot, a winning shot. Unfortunately, if in your mind you do not succeed, what usually comes next is judgment and accusation. That's no good for anybody's game. Curiosity, on the other hand, will lead you to look at the shot and possibly modifying it for the next game or the next opportunity. So think about this. And you know, there's lots of different ways you can start to turn on this curiosity in you. One of them is be ready to learn. Read, have a look, watch matches, see what's going on. Start evaluating what your opponent could be doing. All of that stuff is so useful when you come to play a game. There are so many resources when it comes to books and mental health, how you think, and I came across one of them that I read years ago and I just found it again. And it's Finding the Fountain of Youth Inside Yourself. And it's written by a guy called Shad, Helmstetter. He wrote another book which was called What You Say When You Talk to Yourself. And all of this stuff is really relevant because you have to understand that there's a conversation going on in your head every time you hit the ball. And the conversation can either work for you or work against you. When we're talking about ourselves, we actually want to empower ourselves. Give ourselves credit. Be grateful. Not berate ourselves. I tell you what, the easiest thing in the world is to criticize ourselves and to feel that we aren't good enough. It's so tough to spend our day saying, yes, we are worthy, and yes, we did do a good job. And I can tell you, we talked about potential and we were talking about what potential is. And potential is classified as having no regrets at the end of your life. And wouldn't you like to be kind to yourself and spend your life living it, having no regrets? Well, one of the things on the squash court I can tell you to fulfill that potential is be nice to yourself. Have a look at the shot. Don't say it's good or bad. Look at it. It's a physical shot. All you have to do, if it didn't work, is modify it for the next one. That's the conversation. It's got to be a little higher, a little bit harder, a little bit wider, a little bit tighter. It's not good or bad. Could be, effective or ineffective, but that's it. So please pay attention to the conversation, and you are having one. Let's make it one that works for you. And now it's time for Ask Barb. And I got a reader writing into me saying, what's the difference between negative self-talk and being realistic? And that's a huge question. You know, so many people justify criticizing themselves because they're saying they're being realistic. And what I'm trying to educate you guys to do is not that. Yes, you can say the ball did not go to the back of the court. But that's not a criticism, it's just a fact. When you're giving yourself a negative image, you're saying, I am so hopeless because I did not hit the ball to the back of the court. Or, even better, I lost the match because I was playing badly. It could be that your opponent is simply better than you and did not allow you to play well. You've got to ask yourself the question, did I give it all? Did I do the best I could that day in those circumstances? And if it's yes, then you can't start berating yourself for not winning. Remember, there's two people on the court and both of you are trying to play. So the person who enjoys the game the most, enjoys the competition the most, is the most curious, will eventually learn more and produce a better result later on. Not necessarily in that match, but if you're not enjoying your matches and if you're not curious, trust me, you won't want to put yourself into that situation regularly. For goodness sake, this is not work. This is your recreation. Why don't you keep it like that and enjoy the game? So the difference between negative self-talk and realistic is probably nothing. What I'm trying to educate you to do is be grateful to be on the court, thankful you can run around and enjoy the competition and see what weaknesses your opponent's got and can you exploit them. This is Barb Cooper from helpmysquashgame.com. Have a great day.